ThaBoxingvoice.com here with the unified super lightweight champion of the world, Chicago's own Jessica Mccaskill. Champ, welcome to New York.
Thank you.
Welcome to New York. Just got in this morning. What brings you here? Are you guys here just spectating the WBO, the featherweight championship fight between Heather Hardy and Amanda Serrano?
Yeah, we're coming to check that out. Check out a couple of the other fights that are going on. But anytime we have the opportunity to see promoters or just kind of like do a little hand-to-hand, people come up, they see the belt, take pictures. Anytime we get a chance to do that, especially outside of Chicago, we take that opportunity.
Now, I'm sure for you it's somewhat of a... Do opportunities like this kind of motivate you, coming to a fight at Madison Square Garden to maybe you yourself have a title fight in such a historic venue like the Garden?
I mean, it's always something to look forward to, Vegas and New York. I mean, I've already fought in London, so, it's not something that's off my spectrum. It's not something that seems unattainable at all, but, it's good to see the venue, and then it's good to just know the people in that area, so when I come back, I'm not a stranger.
Now, speaking of getting to know the venue, you'll have the opportunity come next month, October the 12th. You'll fight in the very same venue, the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. A year to the week that you first became champ.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what's that like? How's camp going first off, and what's the feeling like to go back to where you became champion?
Well, at Body Shot, we don't have camp. We always stay in the gym. So if something happened and I didn't fight, I would still be in the gym. After the fight, I'll be back the next day after that. It's really important for the younger fighters to know that you don't take a week, a month off. I don't really punch anything for about a week, just to keep my hands intact, but I'm there, I'm helping other fighters. If they're sparring, I'm there watching, I'm counting punches, I'm teaching the kids class. They need to see my face and they need to know I'm still there and I'm not just like some person with a belt and now I walked off, I got my belt, I'm good. Like, we're all family, so it's not really a camp. We're there pretty much every day.
Now, I haven't heard of that one before. That's pretty cool because I hear a lot of fighters will say, well, it's not strap season because seasons end, right? Seasons come to an end, so... but for you to be in camp, why is it so important? I mean, for those, I'm sure there's a lot of people that will watch this that don't know your story. Tell us why it's so important for you to, remember where you came up from and be in the gym with those kids and things as such.
Maybe you always have to be, hustling and fighting and scrapping, and as far as me as a fighter, I could get a phone call, for something coming up, and if it's like, oh, she's on vacation right now, can I take a message? That's unacceptable. You got to be ready at all times. I got to be reachable at all times. So I'm trying to instill that into the kids and let them know that they got to work hard. I came from a rough background. I was homeless, and I really had to scrap for what I have, and I want those kids to know that they can have those same things. They just have to work hard for it. So I have to show them what hard work is.
Now, you were on your last fight where you became unified champ. It was the Devin Haney undercard in Oxon Hill, Maryland, at the MGM there. A very entertaining, very scrappy fight. Looking back at that fight, where do you progress from there? What were your thoughts on the fight first off, and what are some things that you noticed that you wanted to maybe tweak a little, work a little on it to perfect your craft?
I think your words were very accurate. Scrappy fight. We kind of got a little hyped up in the locker room. We come up with our own plan as far as like me and my manager Rick Ramos. So we had a few things, a few people in mind. We had a wish list of fighters, and then Eddie Hearn said, you guys are going to unify, and we didn't know that was a path that he wanted to project until he said it, and he said it right before we walked out to the fight. So I think subconsciously I was really hyped up, and so I just kind of like opened up a lot more than I wanted to. But it happens, and if you can't adjust, then you have to make it work, and that's what I did.
Wait, so you're saying that you guys didn't know that there was a second that you were unifying to before you walked out?
That we were going to go for all the belts. I didn't know that was kind of like the roadmap.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So since that fight, all right. Looking back at it, did you think the fight was close, or did you have it going your way?
I had it going my way just because of the pressure and the nonstop, the way that we train. We just go. I definitely know, of course, that I got hit with more shots than I wanted to get hit with. So I was confident that I won the fight, but I didn't really like the way that we won the fight. but that's okay. It happens. You can't plan everything out, especially in boxing. Anything can happen. So you got to be ready to adjust, and if you can't adjust, you have to make it work.
Now, a week after your fight, there was another very scrappy fight at the Garden, right down the street, and it's one involving a former opponent of yours and Katie Taylor. Social media kind of went up. A lot of people, to include myself, thought that she lost that fight. What were your thoughts on the fight? Did you happen to watch it first off? And what?
Yeah, we were there. We were there for that fight. We had a lot of fans and a lot of meetings that people rival and different names that we were dealing with all night. So we were in and out of all the fights. Got to see the Ruiz fight as well. But I saw most of the fight. I thought it was, again, like you said, a very scrappy fight. And I had it very close. So, I mean, it could have gone either way. That's boxing for you. So you really, if you leave it to the judges, if you don't knock them out, anything can happen. So it was a close fight.
Now, just because you did bring up knockouts, not as common in female boxing as it is in men's boxing. However, Amanda Serrano, she has 27 knockouts, if I'm not mistaken. I'm personally predicting her to beat Heather by stoppage. What are your thoughts on the fight?
Fight tonight. I hope it's a great fight. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're here, to see the fight. I think Amanda Serrano shows a lot of heart, and she's a hard worker. So I hope to see that in the ring tonight. Knockouts. I can't remember the last time she had a knockout. I think they were a lot more present in like earlier boxing years. But now that you have strength and conditioning, you have fighters that can take punches. It's a lot harder to come by. So I don't know if there will be any knockouts tonight, but we'll see.
Now, her name is also being mentioned for a potential Katie Taylor fight. However, I see friendly conversation, at least on social media, between your team and Serrano's team. Is that a fight that you would entertain at all in the future?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, Serrano, she's done a lot of things in history for female boxing, and that's something very great to attach your name to. I want to add to female boxing as much as she has, and so I think we would have a great fight, be electric. Much respect to Amanda Serrano and her team, and I think they'd be looking for that fight as well.
Now, last two things. Both Amanda Serrano and Heather Hardy have both crossed over into the MMA world. Is that something that you yourself or your team have ever brought up or maybe considered at some point?
I don't think we've ever mentioned it like here in Chicago. I think it was something that I looked at way back when in St. Louis. Right now I'm focused on boxing. I'm focused on these belts. I mean, anything can happen. There was a point in time when we were about this close to doing bare knuckle boxing, and things shifted. So you kind of go with what's best for you in that moment. So right now, what's best for me and my team in this moment is to get all these belts.
And last but not least, a week before your fight, October 5th, up the street in Flint, Michigan, you have two division champ Larissa Seos going for her third division. Most fighters, they start off at a low division, work their way up. She did it the opposite.
Yeah.
She started at 168, went down to 160, and now going to 154. Just wanted your thoughts on her as a fighter. I feel like she's done a lot for female boxing. Just wanted your thoughts on that. And if she were to win, I mean, she'd be the fastest champion in boxing, if I'm not mistaken, to ever become a 3-division champion.
Yeah, all of those things are great for female boxing. It's giving other female boxers benchmarks to surpass and to even reach. Sometimes it's easier to start at what weight you're at, and then once you get better conditioning and better training, you can cut, your body just starts to cut weight for you. So that's probably why she's going down, but good luck to her and all her venues.
All right, champ, really appreciate your time. Let the fans know where they can follow you on social media.
You can find me anywhere at Team Mccaskill or Jessica Mccaskill. Everything's there.
Thank you very much, champ.
Oh, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.